Audi calls its new car the A1, the next big thing. Roughly speaking, that means it's the next big production from Audi. What should we take that to mean?
To be frank, it's a car that my development team and I are extremely proud of, as it enables us to address a completely new customer segment. And for me, the response within the team is always one indicator of whether a car is going to be a hit or not. And the response of the team to this car is simply overwhelming, because they are already picturing themselves sitting in it.
In the
last few years, Audi's primarily gained a lot of experience in the area of sedans with the A6 or the A8, and SUVs with the Q5 and the Q7. Now, I'd like to know how you approach this new compact class. That's probably because of the somewhat complicated history behind the development of the car. It meant venturing into new territory for Audi. We're opening up a new segment in the subcompact car segment, a premium segment which in our view has not previously been occupied. Naturally, that was a very exciting challenge for us. We had an excellent starting basis here, of course, in that we could access group technology, which made our lives a bit easier. But it must be said that the model is not just the sum total of any particular components, but rather the combination of components. It's how we fine-tune the whole thing, how we interpret our own brand language. I believe we've achieved a completely new approach here. And as I've said, we're proud of the result.
The Audi, you can tell by looking at it, is a highly emotional car, and I can imagine that a lot of passion has gone into it on the part of developers and during its development.
At Audi, we always approach each new project with a lot of passion, regardless of whether it's an A1 or an A8. But because of the specific situation in that we were also entering a new segment here, it was indeed something special, something new for Audi, where things were approached a little bit differently. For me, an important indicator in such segments, as well as young segments, is always the employees. You can read very clearly from them how enthusiastically they respond to certain things, ranging from the car's stylistic elements to the usability of the car. In this respect, we've really grown quite fond of this car during the development process.
So, what is the interior like? What are its inner qualities?
Inside, the car has all the qualities that Audi stands for. We've got a premium quality control panel. We have a center console that has been reinterpreted for us. We have a new kind of air vent. The center console and the air vents are special in that we can customize their surface finish. You can order everything from high-gloss black to colors that match the exterior paintwork, which also gives the car a personalized touch. And you can order all this with the same quality, craftsmanship, and love of detail for which Audi is renowned. This even includes the operation of the air conditioning system and the operation of the switches and buttons. It's all smoothly integrated, everything in the right place, and everything has truly been implemented in the quality that's typical of Audi.
That actually brings me directly to the next question. What would you say to customers who are not yet absolutely sure whether or not they should buy this Audi?
Oh, there are plenty of reasons for buying this model. Many people who buy from Audi don't just buy with their mind, but also with their heart and their instinct. We've also done a lot in the A1 for these customers. Just take a look at the contrasting roof arch that we're offering here, which gives the customer an opportunity to customize the car. We will be making it in 4 different colors, and we also offer the car without it for those people who don't want to be so noticeable. That's a typical example of something that caused a lot of controversial discussion throughout the company at the start. After all, you can imagine that the whole thing is not exactly straightforward to implement in terms of production. Ultimately, production has to run the car through the paint line twice in order to first apply the base coat and then the contrasting roof arch. A lot of effort goes into that, but I think that we've been proven right in this case. It fits very well with the look of the car. It's an eye-catcher, and from my perspective, it also completely reinterprets the issue of the premium car in this compact class. It's not simply an adhesive film that's been applied, but rather a matter of doing it and doing it right.
With all the refinement that the Audi A1 brings with it, what specifically does it bring to the road?
In terms of driving dynamics, I'm simply delighted with what we've achieved. Naturally, I'm speaking as an insider, and it's easy for me to say. I've driven the car countless times and made many test runs under all types of conditions. We have excellent weight distribution, and we have low weight. In the interest of axle load distribution, we shifted the battery to the rear in order to ensure highly dynamic driving. We have found a very unique chassis and suspension setup that's exclusive to Audi, one that represents a superb compromise between dynamics, sportiness, and comfort. You have to satisfy all tastes here, even in this class. And we have adapted an ESP system with an electronic axle differential lock that opens up entirely new possibilities in terms of on-road safety and traction, as well as neutral driving behavior. The car's exterior promises driving dynamics that are most definitely reflected in the actual driving of it.
It is particularly true in the compact class that weight is considered alongside consumption, CO2 emissions, and environmental compatibility. How does the A1 come out in this case?
Efficiency is an issue that we place at the top of our list of priorities these days, of course. For the market launch, we have 4 engines, 2 that are gas-powered and 2 that are diesel, all with direct injection. Here, we've implemented the downsizing concept, which replaces displacement with turbocharging. We start with consumption of 3.8 liters, 61.9 mpg for the 1.6 TDI. That translates into 99 grams, an unrivaled value. The top engine initially, the 122 horsepower unit, comes in at 5.4 liters, 43.56 mpg. All engines have a start-stop system, and they all have an energy recovery system, which is a brake energy regeneration system that can temporarily store energy from momentum in the battery in order to ease the load on the electrical system, which also improves fuel consumption. We also have electro-hydraulic steering. For us, efficiency is an issue in the sum total of all of a car's characteristics. It's not enough to install an efficient engine, or efficient air conditioning, or an efficient thermal management system. Instead, it's the composition of all of these things together, and equipping them as efficiently as possible. This then adds up to an optimal result.
This leads me to another question. Since it's a true Audi, where is the big Vorsprung durch Technik, the progress through technology?
The Vorsprung durch Technik in this car is certainly not found in any particular technical highlight, but instead in the sum total of these features and in the sum total of the equipment options that can be found for the very first time in this car and in this compact class. Let me cite 2 examples here. For one, the dual-clutch transmission that we offer here, a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. It combines high efficiency with extremely sporty characteristics. Gear shifts can be manual or automatic. It can be driven dynamically or efficiently and economically. Combined with a navigation system with a high-resolution display, it's another way we're bringing technology of the luxury class car into the subcompact segment. And because of this, I believe we are indeed setting a benchmark with the A1.
Finally, just one more question. This almost sounds as though there's not much difference between the Audi A1 and the Audi A8.
Technologically, there isn't, certainly, but in terms of size, there definitely is.
Thank you very much.